Welcome back to Superly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Today, we're revisiting some key phrases from a recent SpeakDuo lesson. We're really going to focus on the nuanced differences that can elevate your English.
Right, moving beyond just simple synonyms. And you can go to SpeakDuo.com to meet new people from around the world who are practicing English on video calls. It's a great way to build confidence.
Absolutely.
But for now, let's get straight into these advanced expressions.
Okay, let's start with a couple of phrases that deal with conflict and, well, failure.
So the first phrase we're analyzing is at odds with. It seems to signal being in conflict or disagreement.
It does, but it's about when to use it. You know, simply saying you disagree with someone isn't always strong enough. The weakness there is that it often just refers to a difference of opinion.
It's a bit soft.
It is. So the suggestion is to reserve at odds with for when you're talking about a really deep, fundamental inconsistency, a real conflict between, say, values or evidence.
Okay, that makes sense. At odds with feels much more formal, more serious. Like if I were talking about a business report, it signals a big problem.
Exactly. So for a work context, you might say something like, the financial forecast presented by the team is completely at odds with the preliminary sales data we received this morning.
That's not just a disagreement, that's a huge red flag.
Right. And for an interpersonal conflict, maybe in an IELTS answer, you could say, when I am at odds with a friend, I try to talk it out calmly. It just gives the disagreement more weight.
Got it. Okay, so building on that theme of things not quite lining up, let's talk about the idiom to miss the mark.
Right, which means failing to achieve what you intended.
My first thought is, why not just say fail? Or even fall short of?
And that's the nuance. The weakness of a word like fail is that it's so final, so generic. It can imply a total breakdown.
Right, a complete failure.
Whereas miss the mark is a bit softer. It suggests that the failure was because of poor targeting or maybe bad execution. The goal was right, the idea was maybe even good, but the aim was off.
Ah, I see. So it implies a degree of competence, but just a mistake in the execution.
Precisely. In a business review, that's a much more constructive criticism. You could say, the new advertising strategy completely missed the mark by focusing on the wrong demographics.
They had a strategy, it just wasn't aimed correctly.
Exactly. And you can use it personally, too. Yes, I once bought my dad a tie he hated, so I definitely missed the mark on that gift. The intent was good, the aim, not so much.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's move from conflict to language that's more about descriptive power. Starting with the word crisp.
Right, meaning clear, sharp, high quality, usually for audio or visuals.
Yeah, and again, my question is, why not just say clear?
Well, clear is just too general, isn't it? Its weakness is that it can just mean transparent. The suggestion here is that crisp implies a quality that isn't just clear, but also very defined, very precise. It really speaks to high fidelity.
So it's about the quality of the definition you're seeing or hearing.
That's it, exactly. In a conversation about tech, you'd say, I prefer crisp digital photos because I like seeing all the details, especially when I zoom in.
Work.
It's perfect for quality assurance. We need to ensure the audio for the executive presentation is crisp, so every detail is audible to the virtual attendees. It sounds professional. It sounds precise.
Moving on to another descriptive word, gritty. This one's about portrayals of life that are realistic and raw, especially when things are difficult.
Yeah, and the question you raised in the notes was interesting. Does using gritty imply a kind of positive judgment?
It seems to, right?
It does, and that's its power. If you compare it to a word like harsh, the weakness of harsh is it just describes a bad condition. Harsh sunlight, a harsh chemical.
It's just a neutral descriptor of something severe.
Exactly. But gritty. Gritty specifically praises the artistic choice to show that tough reality without romanticizing it. It signals that you approve of the realism.
I see. So it's a term of critical analysis. You might hear a film critic say, I recently watched a film praised for its unflinchingly gritty portrayal of life on the streets.
Precisely. Or in a more general discussion about media. Yes, I find gritty documentaries compelling because they offer an unvarnished view of societal issues. It adds analytical weight.
Okay, Let's talk about a word with a lot of moral weight. Heinous. An adjective for something utterly wicked or shocking. Is this just for the courtroom?
It's often used there, for sure. But the key is its impact compared to weaker words. The weakness of saying something is terrible or even atrocious is that we use those words all the time.
Yeah, for bad traffic or a terrible movie. They've lost their power.
They have. The suggestion is to reserve heinous for acts of truly extreme, morally shocking wickedness. It provides a rhetorical impact that other words just can't match anymore.
It gives the word real gravity. So the formal example makes sense. The judge sentenced him to life in prison for his heinous crime.
Right. But it also applies in a serious ethical discussion. You could say, I think harming a child is a heinous act that is unforgivable. It shows the profound moral failing.
That's a good transition to our next group of words, which are about identification and, well, description. Starting with scantily clad.
Uh-huh. A phrase meaning wearing very little clothing. This one is all about tone and register.
What's the alternative here?
Underdressed?
You could say that, but the weakness of underdressed is it's just too broad. You could be underdressed for a wedding by wearing a t-shirt.
Okay. Scantily clad specifically focuses on the quantity of clothing and the amount of skin showing. It also carries a formal, almost journalistic, and sometimes critical tone. You have to be careful with it.
So you wouldn't use it to describe a friend's outfit at a party?
Probably not. It would sound very judgmental. But you might use it when talking about, say, corporate policy. The promotional material was pulled because the models were considered too scantily clad for a family audience.
Or in a formal speaking test about social norms.
Exactly. No, being scantily clad is usually considered inappropriate for formal events. It fits that formal context.
All right, let's look at culprit. Defined as the person or thing responsible for a misdeed or a problem.
I love this word for its versatility. People often reach for offender, but the weakness there is that offender is almost strictly a legal term.
It sounds like something from a police report.
It does. Culprit, on the other hand, is flexible. You can use it in a serious context, but also in a more lighthearted or even technical context.
Oh, I like that. For a technical issue at work, you could say, after reviewing the server logs, we identified network congestion as the primary culprit causing the slowdown.
Exactly. You personify the problem. The network is the villain here.
Right.
And you can use it for humor, too. When something goes missing at home, the culprit is usually my cat knocking things over.
Okay, next up, hyperbole, the phrase out of this world.
Right, for something extremely good or impressive.
We have lots of words for this. Amazing, fantastic. Why this idiom?
Well, those words are fine, but they're a bit overused, aren't they? The weakness is they just lack a certain flair. The suggestion is that using an idiom like out of this world adds this enthusiastic hyperbole. It signals that an experience was so good it transcended the ordinary.
It's the difference between good and unforgettable.
That's it. So in a work conversation about a new design, have you seen the concepts for the new product? They are simply out of this world. They set a new standard.
And for a personal experience?
The sushi I had in Tokyo was truly out of this world. The quality was just incomparable. It gives your praise more muscle.
I like that. Okay, our final phrase is comfort food, but used metaphorically for media.
Yes, for a show or a movie that makes you feel good, provides consolation.
So why not just say my favorite movie or my go-to show?
Because the weakness of those phrases is they miss the emotional component. The suggestion here is that comfort food specifically emphasizes the emotional solace you get from it, the feeling of safety and relaxation.
Like actual comfort food.
Exactly like that. It signals a deep, restorative connection. So if you're talking about a tough day at work, I had a really difficult meeting, so I'm going home to watch that old space documentary, It's My Cinematic Comfort Food.
And the classic example?
Yes, watching Friends is definitely my visual comfort food when I just need to relax and de-stress. Everyone understands that feeling.
That wraps up our deep dive, a really useful set of phrases. Now, let's see if our listeners can put them into practice. We've got a quick challenge to test your recall.
Let's do it.
Question 1. The witness's testimony was significantly the evidence found at the scene, leading to further investigation. Is it option A, divergent from, option B, at odds with, or option C, contrary toward?
Feel free to pause the critique here if you need to think about the answer.
The correct option is B, at odds with.
Yeah, and that's because we're talking about that serious, fundamental conflict, remember? Just like that financial forecast that was at odds with the sales data?
Okay, question 2. Audiophiles often argue that high-end vinyl setups provide a more sound profile than standard digital files. Option A, crisp. Option B, sharp. Or option C, vivid.
Give yourself a moment on that one. Think about that idea of high-fidelity quality.
The correct option is A, crisp.
Right. We use crisp to talk about that superior, highly defined quality and precision, whether it's audio or the picture quality of a new TV.
Question 3. The director was praised for his portrayal of urban life, refusing to sugarcoat the harsh realities of the city. Option A, sordid. Option B, austere. Option C, gritty.
Take a second to consider the word that specifically praises that kind of artistic realism.
The correct option is C, gritty.
Yes, a gritty portrayal. It's a positive critique, remember? Focusing on that raw, unvarnished view of reality.
Next up, question 4. The fashion show was criticized by conservative groups for featuring models who were deemed too for television. Is it option A, understatedly dressed, option B, scantily clad, or option C, revealingly tailored?
Think about the specific meaning and the formal register we discussed.
The correct option here is B, scantily clad.
Right. Scantily clad points specifically to wearing very little clothing and carries that more formal, sometimes critical tone we talked about.
Question 5. Although the marketing campaign was expensive, it seemed to by failing to resonate with the target demographic. Option A, miss the mark. Option B, fall short of. Option C, lose its edge.
Which idiom suggests that the problem was with the aim, not the effort?
The correct option is A, miss the mark.
Exactly. To miss the mark means the attempt failed because of poor targeting, like designing a great product but advertising it to the wrong people.
Question 6. The international community condemned the regime for committing acts against the civilian population. Option A, atrocious. Option B, nefarious. Option C, heinous.
Which word carries the most extreme moral weight?
The correct option is C, heinous.
It has to be. Heinous is the word you reserve for those truly wicked, shocking acts to give your statement maximum impact.
Okay, number 7. After a thorough audit, the accountant identified the blank for the massive discrepancy in the quarterly reports. Option A, offender. Option B, culprit. Option C, adversary.
Remember the word we said was versatile that could apply to people or systems?
The correct option is B, culprit.
Absolutely. The culprit here is the source of the problem, just like the network congestion was the culprit behind the system's slowdown.
And our final question, number 8. The special effects in the latest sci-fi blockbuster are truly blank, setting a new standard for the entire film industry. Option A, beyond all bounds. Option B, out of this world. Option C, unlike any other.
Which idiom best expresses that idea of transcending the ordinary?
The correct option is B, out of this world.
Yes, we use out of this world to describe something so impressive it feels like it's from another planet. Like that amazing sushi in Tokyo.
So, we've analyzed some really powerful phrases today, focusing on adding that precision and rhetorical muscle to your speech. Everything from at odds with to crisp and out of the world.
And the goal, really for any advanced speaker, is to move beyond those common synonyms. You want to inject depth and specificity into what you're saying. Choosing the right word strengthens your argument. It makes you sound more credible.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed this advanced review, don't miss out on your next Connect and Practice session. You can book more live practice sessions and check your AI corrections at SpeakDuo.com.
And we invite you to submit your work back in again for more linguistic feedback.